Welcome to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction's annual training on the Seamless Summer Option. This program is commonly referred to as SSO. By the end of this session, you will understand what SSO is, you will be able to distinguish which sponsors are eligible to participate in SSO, and how a site is qualified. You will be able to discuss the basic operational requirements for participation. You will know when to conduct site monitoring visits and when you will receive an administrative review from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction. And finally, you will learn how to take the first steps to apply to participate. Before we begin our presentation on the Seamless Summer Option, we will briefly review the three programs which you, as school food authorities, can operate in the summer: the Summer Food Service Program, the National School Lunch Program for Academic Summer School, and the Seamless Summer Option. After this brief review, this presentation will focus on the Seamless Summer Option. The Summer Food Service Program, or SFSP, is a separate federally assisted program for the summer. It provides nutritious meals and snacks to children and teens age 18 and under without cost during the summer breaks when school is not in session. SFSP sites include schools, camps, parks, playgrounds, housing authorities, community centers, churches, and other public sites where children gather in the summer. Sites are eligible to offer meals and snacks if the sites operate in areas where at least 50% of the children are eligible for free or reduced price school meals. The main differences between the Seamless Summer Option and SFSP are the higher reimbursement rate and a more flexible meal pattern in the SFSP. The Seamless Summer Option follows the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program meal patterns. When a school is offering academic summer school, which students must take to advance to the next grade, SFAs must operate the School Breakfast Program and the National School Lunch Program. In this case, meals are served at school sites only to academic summer school students. This is not an optional enrichment program. However, SFAs that provide academic summer school at a site are encouraged to open the site to children in the community to operate the SSO. When doing this, SFAs must pay careful attention when submitting claims for reimbursement to ensure meals are claimed in the appropriate program, either the NSLP and School Breakfast Program or the Seamless Summer Option for those students not required to take the academic class. The Seamless Summer Option has many similarities to the Summer Food Service Program, but there are some differences. The Seamless Summer Option, or SSO, is a federally assisted meal program that encourages more school food authorities already participating in the National School Lunch and School Breakfast Program to provide meals to students age 18 and under in low-income areas during the traditional summer vacations and during school vacation periods for periods longer than 10 school days for year-round schools. The SSO combines features of the NSLP, School Breakfast Program, and Summer Food Service Program, and reduces paperwork and administrative work to make it easier for SFAs to feed children during summer and other school vacation periods. In rural communities facing access issues, meals may be approved for non-congregate meal service such as grab-and-go or delivery. The state agency must approve all non-congregate sites. The goal is to ensure that children who rely on the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program continue to have access to nutritious meals when the school year ends or is not in session. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has developed a side-by-side table to compare the various summer nutrition programs if you would like additional information. Only SFAs already administering the NSLP and School Breakfast Program, which have demonstrated administrative capability and financial viability, can participate with the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction's approval. The application for the Seamless Summer Option is in the School Nutrition Program section of the School Nutrition Technology System, where the School Breakfast and NSLP programs are located. SSO sponsors receive the same reimbursement rate as they do in the National School Lunch Program and the School Breakfast Program for free students. For SSO, the NSLP School Breakfast Program meal pattern is followed. SFAs may be approved to operate non-school sites such as camps, churches, community centers, housing complexes, libraries, migrant centers, parks, playgrounds, pools, and other public sites where children are likely to gather. Just a note about the Child and Adult Food Care Program. SFAs using CACFP for after-school meals are well positioned to switch to SSO or the Summer Food Service Program during summer months to maintain consistent service. Although CACFP at-risk after-school meals may not be served during the summer months, these organizations may be eligible to serve summer meals through the Summer Food Service Program or Seamless Summer Option. When can the Seamless Summer Option operate? Most commonly, schools operating under a traditional school calendar may operate SSO during the months of May to September, when school is not in session, and in October to April for sites that are responding to unanticipated school closures. Year-round schools may operate SSO during any scheduled break of 10 or more school days. What makes a site eligible? Site eligibility requirements are the same as for SFSP. Sites are determined eligible to operate the Seamless Summer Option primarily by being located in low-income areas where at least 50% of the children are eligible for free or reduced price meals, validated through school or census data. Sites within the geographical boundaries of a school attendance area with at least 50% of the children approved for free or reduced price meals are eligible using school data. In summary, school or census data is commonly used to establish area eligibility. You can use the USDA Area Eligibility Mapping tool to determine eligibility. Instructions for use are on the website. Use the QR code or link to find the mapping tool. Once a site is certified as eligible, the data is good for 5 years. If you notice your percentage is starting to decrease during the 5-year period, you may want to reestablish earlier and use that data for an additional 5 years. Community Eligibility Program schools, or CEP schools, are not automatically considered area eligible. Individual school data must be used. Contact the summer team at NCDPI for eligibility questions at summernutritionprogram@dpi.nc.gov. Here is a brief overview of the process to determine area eligibility for a CEP school's attendance area. The individual school's identified student percentage, or ISP, is multiplied by a factor of 1.6. If the resulting percentage is at least 50, meal sites within the school's attendance area are area eligible. Individual school data must be used to determine area eligibility, even if the school is participating in CEP as part of a group or district claiming with a shared ISP. If the school's ISP is at least 31.25, meal sites located in the attendance area of the school are area eligible. ISP data may only be used to determine area eligibility for schools electing CEP. If a school electing CEP collects alternate household income information to be used for other purposes, school data based on these applications may not be used to determine area eligibility. So, for example, a school with an ISP of 31.25 or higher is eligible because 31.25 times 1.6 equals 50%. What types of sites can operate SSO? The USDA always encourages open sites to reach the most children. Open sites are where meals are provided to all children in the area on a first-come, first-served basis at an area-eligible site and reimbursed at the current NSLP or School Breakfast Program free rate. On occasion, an open site might need to restrict or limit the meal site's attendance for reasons of space, security, safety, or control. This site must still be publicized as being open on a first-come, first-served basis to all children in the area, but may limit participation and operate as a restricted open site. Closed enrolled sites are where meals are served only to an identified group of children who are participating in a specific program or activity. These sites usually provide recreational, cultural, religious, or other types of organized activities, such as school enrichment. Remember, a site providing academic summer school, which is required for a student to advance to the next grade, would not operate the Seamless Summer option, but would operate the National School Lunch Program. Summer enrichment programs, which are voluntary, would qualify and may be considered closed enrolled. Residential or non-residential day camps offering regularly scheduled food service as part of an organized program for enrolled children may qualify as an SSO site. Area eligibility cannot be used to establish campsite eligibility. Eligibility must be established for each enrolled child using information obtained from their schools, such as household income applications submitted and approved by the SFA, or direct certification conducted by the SFA. Meals are reimbursed at the current NSLP or school breakfast program free rates for eligible children in attendance. Meals served to ineligible children are not reimbursed, and camps may charge ineligible children for meals. Finally, migrant sites serve children of migrant families through age 18 and must be certified by a migrant coordinator. What are a sponsor's responsibilities? They include completing the SSO application in the school nutrition technology system, training, menu planning, food safety, public notification, monitoring, record keeping, civil rights, and submitting the claim on or before the 10th of the month. For the SSO application, use the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction's application guide related to SSO guidance. How many meals per day are reimbursable? The number and type of meals that may be reimbursed depends on the type of site. At open, restricted open, and closed enrolled sites, a maximum of 2 meals, such as lunch and breakfast, or lunch and 1 snack, breakfast and 1 snack, or 1 snack and supper, may be claimed per child per day. Open, restricted open, and closed enrolled sites cannot claim lunch and supper meals served to the same children on the same day. SFAs must use the NSLP meal pattern for lunches established in 7 CFR 210.10 when serving supper meals. At camps, both residential and non-residential, only the meals served to children eligible for free or reduced meals based on approved applications or direct certification may be reimbursed. A maximum of 3 meals, such as breakfast, lunch, and supper, may be claimed per child per day. At migrant sites, a maximum of 3 meals, such as breakfast, lunch, and supper, may be claimed per child per day. Only camps and migrant sites may claim both lunch and supper served to the same children on the same day. What are the meal pattern and mealtime requirements? SFAs offering the SSO must follow the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program meal pattern requirements established in the federal regulations. That's 7 CFR 210.10 for lunch and 7 CFR 220.8 for breakfast. In addition, SSO sites must provide meal accommodations consistent with the policy on modifications to accommodate disabilities in the school meal programs. SFAs may use a single age grade group meeting the minimum meal pattern requirements for the most common age grade group attending the site. This applies to open and restricted open sites, where meals are served to all children in the community on a first-come, first-served basis. All other sites that serve an identified group of children, including closed enrolled sites and camps, must follow the meal pattern for the age grade group they are serving, such as K-5, 6 through 8, K-8, and 9 through 12. Meal times for breakfast and lunch must follow the designated times in the School Breakfast Program and National School Lunch Program regulations. Breakfast must be served in the morning hours at or near the beginning of the program day, and lunch must be offered between 10 and 2. These are federal regulatory requirements. Can meals be served on weekends? Yes, with state agency approval. An SFA that plans to serve weekend meals in the Seamless Summer option must include this information in its application. SSO sites operating more than 5 days will need to carefully plan their menus. For example, SSO sites operating more than 5 days a week should increase the weekly grains quantity by approximately 20%, or 1/5, to account for each additional operating day. Similarly, SFAs operating SSO sites less than 5 days per week should follow the calculation of meal pattern requirements during short weeks. Offer versus Serve, or OVS, allows schools to reduce food waste and cost by permitting students to decline certain meal components while still receiving a reimbursable meal. Under SSO, all required food components must be offered, but students can choose to take fewer items, provided they take at least half a cup of fruit or vegetable. OVS is allowed but not required at SSO sites. If an SSO site chooses to do OVS for lunch and/or breakfast, it would follow the requirements in the OVS manual. This would apply regardless of the ages of the children served. The differences would be portion sizes, but the OVS requirements are the same for all ages. Unlike the Summer Food Service Program, SFAs operating the Seamless Summer option do not need to request prior approval to serve meals on field trips. The SFA must ensure that all meal pattern, food safety, and meal counting procedures meet regulatory requirements. Can food be taken off-site? Meals served in the SSO are intended to be consumed on-site in a designated food service area during the established meal period. Except for field trips, SFAs may allow a child to take one fruit, vegetable, or grain item off-site for later consumption. SFAs should check with local health and sanitation codes prior to allowing children to take food off-site or implementing sharing tables. Do SSO sites have to receive an additional health inspection during the summer? According to the NSLP requirements, SFAs must request to obtain 2 health inspections per year. There is no requirement for the SFA to obtain an additional food safety inspection for the Seamless Summer option. All applicable food safety requirements apply, such as maintaining a Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points, or HACCP, food safety plan. Does Buy American apply to the SSO? Yes, it does. SFAs must ensure that food products are produced and, for processed items, over 51% processed in the U.S. This applies to all food procurement, including milk, juice, and USDA foods. Contracts and solicitations should include Buy American language to ensure compliance. Limited exceptions exist when a product is not produced in the U.S. in sufficient quantities, or if the domestic product cost is significantly higher. Starting in the 2025-2026 school year, new specific thresholds for non-domestic food purchases are being phased in, requiring closer tracking. Are SSO sites required to follow the Smart Snacks requirements? Sites solely operating the SSO do not need to meet Smart Snack standards. If the site is also operating academic summer school and claiming those meals under the school breakfast and national school lunch programs, Smart Snack standards do apply. Meal counting and claiming is critical in our programs. Meal counts form the basis of claims. Record the number of children served to complete first meal. Second meals and incomplete meals are not reimbursable in the Seamless Summer option. Do not include meals served to adults in meal counts for reimbursement. And remember, program adults are those who work directly with the meal service. This is an allowable cost to the program, but cannot be claimed. Non-program adults do not work in any direct way with the meal service at the site. These also may not be claimed and are not an allowable cost to the program. Adult meals are considered income, and the cost of the meal transfers to the nonprofit school nutrition account. The Food and Nutrition Service of the USDA requires Seamless Summer Option sponsors to monitor sites to ensure compliance with the National School Lunch Program regulations. All non-school sites must have the capacity and facilities to provide the meal service plan for the number of children anticipated. New non-school sites should be reviewed prior to operation to ensure capability and compliance. Sponsor review forms are found in the Download Forms section for the National School Lunch Program in the School Nutrition Technology System. Sponsors must review daily records maintained by the site supervisor, such as meal counts and temperatures. Sponsors must maintain ongoing supervision of sites to ensure compliance with meal pattern, record keeping, and safety requirements. If a review reveals operating problems, the sponsor is responsible for ensuring immediate corrective action is taken. Monitor early so refinements to program operations can be effectively implemented during the course of the program. In the Seamless Summer option, the site is responsible for the direct, on-the-ground, safe and compliant service of meals to all children. Key responsibilities include supervision of the meal service, adherence to the meal pattern, accurate meal counting, operational compliance, food safety, record keeping, training and promotion, and compliance with all civil rights regulations and guidance. Non-congregate meal service is allowed in the Seamless Summer option. Sites must be in rural areas or meet specific approved rural equivalent criteria and lack access to traditional congregate dining. Use the updated USDA Rural Designation Map to identify a rural site. Sites must be approved by the state agency before operating and must have a system in place to prevent meal theft or duplication, which we refer to as an integrity plan. No more than the approved number of meals may be distributed at once, allowing for grab-and-go or home delivery. Non-congregate meal services cannot operate at the same time as or in place of required congregate services at the same site. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction will review Seamless Summer Option programs when the School Food Authority is scheduled for an administrative review or, more frequently, based on program size, risks, or other problems. According to Title VII, Section 210.18 of the Code of Federal Regulations, the state agency must review Seamless Summer Options at a minimum of one site if the School Food Authority selected for review under this section operates the Seamless Summer Option and only operates congregate meal service. If the School Food Authority operates congregate and non-congregate meal service, a minimum of two sites must be reviewed, one congregate and one non-congregate. If the School Food Authority has one site that operates both congregate and non-congregate, the state agency may review a minimum of one site, but must observe both a congregate and non-congregate meal service at that one site. This review can take place at any site within the reviewed School Food Authority the summer before or after the school year in which the administrative review is scheduled. During the administrative review, AR specialists evaluate site eligibility, they assess meal pattern compliance, including the menu compliance worksheet and water availability, production records, they review meal counting and claiming, they examine food safety records and practices, evaluate performance of self-monitoring, they determine differentiation between age grade groups, and they observe community participation and site promotion. As required by federal regulation, Seamless Summer Option sponsors must retain records for 3 years plus the current year. This includes daily meal counts, menu documentation, that would be menus, recipes, production records, crediting documentation, and other matters, financial records, including operating and administrative costs. These records must support all reimbursement claims and demonstrate compliance with the meal pattern. Civil rights is important in all our programs. Display the End Justice for All poster. Establish a complaint procedure. Train staff on civil rights. And be sure to include the non-discrimination statement on program materials. Meals served under the Seamless Summer option are reimbursable at the free rates prescribed by the USDA for the National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program. How can SFAs apply? Complete and submit the Statement of Intent. Complete the sponsor application and one site application in the School Nutrition Technology System as early as possible. Additional sites may be added later. And don't forget to review the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Annual Agreement for SSO requirements. All sponsors must be fully approved to participate in the SSO program to claim meals for reimbursement. Sponsors will not be reimbursed for meals served prior to full approval to participate in the Seamless Summer option. Don't forget to promote your programs. We want every eligible child to be able to participate in the Seamless Summer option. Public notification is required and part of civil rights requirements. This slide provides some wonderful ways to spread the word about the availability of our programs. This slide contains some regulations and guidance on the Seamless Summer option program. A brief note on water in summer nutrition programs. Is drinking water required to be available during lunch at Seamless Summer option sites? Yes, it is. Now, does this water requirement apply to non-school summer nutrition sites? No, it does not. The water requirement only applies to Seamless Summer option sites at schools. But it's certainly best practice to have water available during the summer, especially for outdoor sites. This brings us to the conclusion of our program on the Seamless Summer option. If you have any questions about the program, please send them to summernutritionprogram@dpi.nc.gov. Thank you for your participation in today's presentation. As these children peer into their paper bags with excitement and anticipation of what meal will be provided for them, we look forward to hearing about the exciting things you will do for North Carolina's children this summer. Thank you for your service.